Well, they did it. I hope everybody's real happy. I hope all you establishment types are real happy right now, huh? We did it. We criminalized journalism. We got rid of the Fourth Estate. It's official. Not that the media wasn't in the throes of being nothing more than a propaganda tool for the military-industrial complex and corporate interests anyway, and the pharmaceutical-industrial complex. You know, the education system. I'd say the miseducation system that's training people that this is okay. We told you that all these charges, from the assault allegations that are now being brought up again in Sweden to the 5 years max, all that's gone. Espionage Act. 16 counts. We've got the indictment. We're going to be reading parts of that indictment. I'm worked up. I am worked up. And one of the things I want to focus on before we read that indictment is read you a section of the Mueller report, which shows you how ludicrous of a system and a media we have. While they sit there and parrot lies about Russian collusion, no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't prove it because it never happened. They gloss over the fact that all these documents that came from Wikileaks, and by the way, the Espionage Act is being used with the information that Manning provided back in 2010. We've covered that many times, but we're going to cover it again. I'm going to show you a short clip. We're going to go to the indictment. It is public now. Espionage Act. Fourth Estate done. Criminalizing journalism. There is no checks and balances. We live in a globalized national security state publicly as of today. You could make an argument about Snowden no matter how ludicrous because he was a U.S. citizen. Guess who wasn't? Assange. Guess who never hacked anything? Assange. Unreal. This is unreal. So before we get into the Mueller report section that really needs to be examined to, again, show you how crazy it is that the vast majority of our politicians, congressmen, senators, governors, mayors, all these people, bootlicker there, Pete Buttigieg, whatever his name is, one of the 20 plus running for the presidency. He pushes this Russian interference propaganda. All these people pushing that nonsense. And even the ones on the right that admit that Trump didn't collude, well, guess what? Guess what? They still talk about interference like it actually happened. So here we go. We're going to watch this clip right here. Talk about the Espionage Act and the fact that they're going to try to put this guy away forever. They never want him to see the light of day.
Indicted Wikileaks founder Julian Assange on 18 counts related to the release of classified information. He is accused of conspiring with former Army intelligence officer Chelsea Manning to hack into a Pentagon computer. The indictment claims Assange unlawfully obtained and then published the classified material. Some of the documents leaked exposed abuse by the U.S. military in Iraq and Afghanistan. Assange is currently being held in a British jail and has said he will fight extradition to the U.S.
As he should. As he should. It is shameful. Shameful that this is happening. And listen, I know I got some people that watch me that are huge Trump supporters that follow this Q nonsense. Hey, if you got to unsubscribe, unsubscribe. But come on, let's get into reality. Time is now to step up to the plate and not believe in imaginary white hat hackers and saviors of the universe and indictments that aren't there. This indictment's real. All right? And we had a president of the United States that used the WikiLeaks to get elected. And now he doesn't know about them. We're going to watch that clip in a second. I know nothing about WikiLeaks now as soon as the indictments come in. And I'm sorry, this is the harsh reality. There isn't anything behind the scenes, guys, that we don't know about. They're trying to put him away under this administration. Believe the hype.
WikiLeaks. I love WikiLeaks.
This WikiLeaks stuff is unbelievable. It tells you the inner heart. You got to read it.
It's been amazing what's coming out on WikiLeaks.
This WikiLeaks is fascinating.
This WikiLeaks is like a treasure trove. Getting off the plane, they were just announcing new WikiLeaks, and I wanted to stay there, but I didn't want to keep you waiting. Boy, I love reading those WikiLeaks.
And not only Trump, but let's be honest, all of his speechwriters, his campaigner, his operatives, they all knew. I mean, that's why Roger Stone is involved. But the thing is that none of this has been proven to be Russian hackers. And I want to go over that. It's in the Mueller report. They just act like they're the authoritative source, and you have to believe them. You have to believe me. That's the deal, guys. Let's go to it right now. Let's go to the Mueller report. All right. Oh, what do we do? Oh, I should just put that right here. Sorry about that. All right. So here you go, guys. Let's get that down to 125. Perfect. So in this section of the Mueller report, without any proof whatsoever, they dismissed the fact that Assange said and alluded to that this was an internal leak, nothing to do with Russia. They spoke to nobody. So let's read it word for word. And then we will go to the indictment. That's this document right here. I'm fired up. Guys, I hope you're fired up too. I hope you're sharing this. I hope you're thumbsing it up. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. We're going to be covering this. But this is it. This is the end of journalism in this country. And you should know it's the end of the journalism because this Mueller report has been out for, what, almost a month? Is it a month now? It's over a month? Right around, I think, a month and a half, possibly. Not one journalist, not one in the mainstream has covered this. In fact, as far as I know, in the alternative media, it's just been me and Luke. We are changed. That's it. So on October 7th, 2016, WikiLeaks released the first email stolen from the Podesta email account. In total, WikiLeaks released 33 tranches of stolen emails between October 7th, 2016 and November 7th, 2016. The releases included private speeches given by Clinton, internal communications between Podesta and other high-ranking members of the Clinton campaign, and correspondence related to the Clinton Foundation. In total, WikiLeaks released over 50,000 documents stolen from everything stolen from Podesta's personal email account. The last in-time email released from Podesta's account was dated March 21st, 2016, 2 days after Podesta received a spear phishing email sent by the GRU. Shows no evidence that phishing email was sent by the GRU. None. Zero. And if I remember correctly, his password was password. That was put out there. I didn't see that. Nope. Guess what? That wasn't in here. So now they actually talk about the WikiLeaks statement of this documentation. As reports attributing the DNC and DCCC hacks to the Russian government emerged, WikiLeaks and Assange made several public statements apparently designed to obscure. Apparently. See, they don't prove anything. This is all speculation. And another thing, there's another word for it. It's called bullshit. That's what this is. Designed to obscure the source of the materials that WikiLeaks was releasing. The file transfer evidence described above and other information uncovered during the investigation discredit WikiLeaks' claims about the source of material that it posted. No, it doesn't. You didn't provide jack shit. Beginning in the summer of 2016, Assange and WikiLeaks made a number of statements about Seth Rich, a former DNC staff member who was killed in July of 2016. The statement about Rich implied falsely that he had been the source of the stolen DNC emails. You notice how they slide that in there? Makes no headlines. No one talks about it. No one talks about the fact that Seymour Hersh is on a hidden recording talking about this very thing, talking about how Seth Rich set up a Dropbox and wanted money and got a monetary transfer for these things. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about how Kim.com has said that he helped facilitate that. That's not in here. No interviews with him either. So odd. Okay? On August 9th, 2016, the @WikiLeaks Twitter account announced WikiLeaks has decided to issue a U.S. $20,000 reward for information leading to the conviction of the murder of DNC staffer Seth Rich. Notice that how that has a footnote 180 and all these little investigative techniques, they're all blacked out. They're only noted on there, and then they're not going to give you any real source information anyway. Because they don't have any real information. Because they didn't go to the source. Okay? Likewise, on August 25th, 2016, Assange was asked in an interview, "Why are you so interested in Seth Rich's killer?" And responded, "We're very interested in anything that might be a threat to alleged WikiLeaks sources." The interviewer responded to Assange's statement by commenting, "I know you don't want to reveal your source, but it certainly sounds like you're suggesting a man who leaked information to WikiLeaks was then murdered. Assange replied, if there's someone who's potentially connected to our publication, and that person has been murdered in a suspicious fashion, I believe fashion is the next word, in suspicious circumstances, it doesn't necessarily mean that the two are connected, but it is a very serious matter. That type of allegation is serious, and it is taken seriously by us. After the U.S. intelligence community, the U.S. intelligence, the ones we should trust, the U.S. intelligence community, the ones that lied to us about weapons of mass destruction, the ones that obfuscated the Saudi Arabian, Pakistani, and Israeli involvement in 9/11, I should trust them. That's who I should trust? The Brennans, Clappers, and Haydens of the world? That's who I should trust. Okay, so we're just trusting them then. After the U.S. intelligence community publicly announced its assessment that Russia was behind the hacking operation, Assange continued, how dare he continue to deny that the Clinton materials released by WikiLeaks had come from Russian hacking, because they didn't. According to media reports, Assange told a U.S. congressman that the DNC hack was an inside job and purported to have physical proof that Russia did not give materials to Assange. And then they basically go on to talk about Guccifer 2.0, and that's it. That's all we hear about Assange and Seth Rich. Okay? So now remember, these 18 indictments, 18 indictments under the Espionage Act have nothing to do with this. I'm sure it didn't make them happy, the establishment happy, that, they were able to get into high-level Clinton and Podesta emails that clearly showed criminal conduct that nothing was done about. Instead, they spun it, and they tried to, take down a president. They're still trying, by the way, with that very report we just read. There's a whole second section, because they couldn't prove Russian collusion. They couldn't get a perjury trap. They couldn't get somebody to roll on him for some lower-level crime. So they looked at the possibility of obstruction of justice in 11 cases, even though there was no crime to obstruct. And now we're going to sit here and listen to those talking points, but nobody's going to bring up the subsection I just read you. Okay? Instead, we're going to sit here with our thumbs up our asses and act like it is okay that this man is probably never going to see the outside of a jail cell other than a courtroom ever again. Ever again. So I want to read you, I just read some of the first three before I got here. Okay? Julian Assange is the public face of WikiLeaks, a website he founded with others as an intelligence agency of the people, which it was. To obtain information to release on WikiLeaks' website, Assange encouraged sources to circumvent legal safeguards on information. So again, he's encouraging people to blow the whistle. We should all be doing that in a public fashion. But that's espionage now. Okay? Unbelievable. To obtain information to release on the WikiLeaks website, provide the protected information to WikiLeaks for public dissemination and continue the pattern of illegally procuring and providing protected information to WikiLeaks for distribution to the public. It's not illegal. It's not illegal. Once he has it, once a journalist source has it, he can give it to whoever he wants. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. There's a reason we set this up in our Constitution and Bill of Rights, because we knew that tyrants would take over. We knew that the rich and the elite and the powerful and the connected had to be held accountable by somebody. And that's why it was such a pillar of this country. And believe me, the establishment has fought it tooth and nail since its inception. With Hearst Publications, for instance, that was the birth of quote-unquote yellow journalism. And a lot of these media publications are owned by those very tyrants we go after. Okay? And they're invested in the Lockheed Martins and the Raytheons of the world as well. They're invested in lies, propaganda, and war. And that's the reality. And that's why they're trying to take this guy down. Thank you so much, Eon Donut, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Assange and WikiLeaks have repeatedly sought, obtained, and disseminated information that the United States classified due to a serious risk that unauthorized disclosure could harm the national security of the United States. WikiLeaks' website explicitly solicited, censored, otherwise restricted, and until September 2010, classified materials. Yeah, and they were terrible. And they showed what was going on in Guantanamo Bay. They even talk about the bin Laden raid in this. They're going after the documents that they leaked from the bin Laden raid. And by the way, yes, apparently in that bunker, whatever you want to believe about that, whether that was Osama bin Laden, a possible body double, I don't know. Someone seems to have gotten killed on that raid. Seymour Hersh, another one that's really picked that apart. Well, if you believe what they recovered, they also recovered, Webster Tarpley books. He had a copy of Loose Change on his computer. There's a lot of interesting and odd things. I think Fritz Springenmeyer's 13 Bloodlines was in there as well. So you got to wonder why a guy like Osama bin Laden would have that material, if he was this mastermind of the attacks like they said. But we'll get to that. We'll go to the OBL section in just a minute. Whew, I'm so upset right now. We should be thanking WikiLeaks. We should be, I mean, honestly, we should be all over the president of the United States for this. We should. I'm sick of it. Guys, if you're still Trump training after this, after the guy campaigned on loving the WikiLeaks, and now he doesn't know about it, and don't tell me that he's just trying to extradite him to the United States so that he can pardon him. First of all, there's a good chance that this guy is not going to be in the States until 2018, 2019, 2020 to see trial, period. And I'm not saying Trump's going to lose the election, but there's no guarantees either that he's going to be able to win. Right now, I don't see a candidate that can take him out. But while he's gearing up to pardon soldiers that fought in Iraq and killed innocent civilians, some of which have not even seen a military tribunal yet, but he isn't gonna do anything for Assange. He should have granted him asylum in this country, immunity, and he should have been celebrated as a hero. That's something I could get behind, Donald. But instead, we have this indictment that's charging him with the Espionage Act and 18 cases that clearly criminalizes journalism. Assange personally and publicly promoted WikiLeaks to encourage those with access to protected information, including classified information, to provide it to WikiLeaks for public disclosure. Yes. That's what journalism outlets do. That's why we got to see the Pentagon Papers. That's why we got to see the Panama Papers. That's why, again, although the dark overlord are extortionists, we got to see those 9/11 papers in some regard. We're still waiting for more. And they've revealed some pretty interesting and intricate things. And the Assange stuff blew the whistle on how bad things were overseas in the torture department. You've seen some of the videos. Not only the torture department, how about killing journalists? How about the Reuters journalism video? So, I'm just gonna go into the bin Laden thing, and I think I'm gonna wrap this up afterwards, and just to show everybody that that's also a part of it. So here, number 37. It's a pretty long indictment. 37 pages, by the way. So on May 2nd, 2011, United States Armed Forces raided the compound of Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad, Pakistan. During the raid, they collected a number of items of digital media, which included the following: a letter from bin Laden to another member of the terrorist organization Al-Qaeda, in which bin Laden requested that the member gather the DoD material posted to WikiLeaks; a letter to that same member of Al-Qaeda to bin Laden with the information from Afghanistan war documents provided by Manning to WikiLeaks and released by WikiLeaks; and 3, the Department of State information by Manning to WikiLeaks and released by WikiLeaks. Big nothing burger, but they're going to go after it because they're going after freedom of speech. Guys, I'm sorry I was so fired up for this one, but this is something we got to be fired up about. Let's be honest. The man is probably never going to see the outside of a prison cell. This is the litmus test. This has never been about sexual assault. This has never, Hillary Clinton tried to obfuscate this and said, oh, well, this isn't really about freedom of the press. You see, he encouraged hacking. It's about espionage. Yeah, he encouraged hacking. Bullshit. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe, thumbs this up, share this information on the web, on the social media. Guys, on your websites, please, let's get this on Reddit, on SGT Report, other alternative sites out there, because nobody's talking about that Mueller report angle at all. They're not even talking about that existing in the Mueller report, and it all ties in. Once again, thank you guys so much, and I'll be streaming again soon.